Doing own voice over soft music. Jungkook was lovingly admiring his wife, who was getting ready for the university, and not being able to hold himself more. He got her from the bed and walked towards the dressing table where his wife is and back hugged her. "You're looking so beautiful, my love," he said while resting his chin on his wife's shoulder and looking straight at her eyes through the mirror. "After all, I'm your wife, Cook," she too said while looking at Jungkook through the mirror, making a proud trim appear on Jungkook's lip after hearing her saying his wife. "Yes, you my wife," John whined. Saying this, he hid his face in her cork of neck and her over there, making wine to close her eyes. Jungkook continued wine on her neck, making wine to throw her head back to his shoulder, giving more access to Jungkook. Cook, she when Jungkook her neck and soon followed by a over the spot where Jungkook whined. Jungkook back off and he turned around Wine and smashed his lips on her and started her, to which Wine replied back happily by wrapping her hands over his neck. Both were each other passionately, but their movement got spoiled when Wine's phone rang, making Wine to pull back from the "Babe," he went, making Wine chuckle, "and my phone is ringing." "Your phone. Let me have you." Saying this, he was again about to whine, but Wine stopped him by placing her both hands on his chest and, "No, first let me see who it is and then we can continue." Jungkook signed, "Fine, make it quick." "Okay." Saying that, she walked to the bed to get her phone and, "Oh, it's Leah," she said, and immediately picked up the call, making Jungkook frown as why his sister is calling Wine now, as they are going to already see each other at college in few minutes. "Yeah, Leah, Wine, where are you?" "Of course at home. Why, what happened?" "Nothing, just Jack wants to know where you are. Has he got to give you your book which he borrowed from you yesterday?" "Oh, say him that I told to give the book to you. I will take it from you." "Okay, fine, I will say. And also, please come fast. I'm waiting for you in college." "Yeah, fine, I'm coming. Bye." "Bye." And thus Wine cut the call, and Wine saw Jungkook sitting on the bed as he walked to the bed while Wine was in call. "Why did she call?" he asked, and pulled Wine to his and hugged her tightly by her. "Nothing, she wants me to come quickly to college," she said, to which Jungkook just nodded his head as his eyes were fixed on Wine's lips, and then he again cupped Wine's cheek and leaned forward and placed his lips on her too, her which Wine again replied back immediately. Jungkook pulled back so as to let Wine breathe in. "I can never get enough of you, babe." Saying this, he was again about to whine, but Wine stopped him by placing her palm over his lips and, "Mr. John, I know you can never get enough of me, but for now you have to control your hormones because we are getting late, and my dear best friend, to be specific, your sister is waiting for me," she dramatically said, making Jungkook chuckle while shaking his head, and thus Wine removed her palm from Jungkook's lips. "Fine, Mrs. John, for now I will control my hormones as you are getting late for your classes, and my sister, to be specific, your best friend, is waiting for you." But he shrimp and leaned towards Wine's ear and, "Brace yourself, Mrs. John, as tonight you're gonna be screaming my name till sunrise," he said, and Wine's earlobe, making Wine to close her eyes to feel his lips on her skin as he was trailing his soft down her earlobe to her neck, making Wine to grip Jungkook's shirt tightly. "Cook, you said you will control yourself," she said more like as Jungkook was her neck, and thus lastly with the over the spot where he created her just few minutes ago, he pulled back and faced Wine, who to open her eyes when Jungkook stopped her and Jungkook smiled. "Let's go, my love." Saying this, he picked Wine's lip, who just nodded her head as yes, and then Jungkook took her back from bed and hung it on his shoulder and stood up from the bed with Wine in his arm and walked out of the room. "Where is she? When she will come? What did she say?" Jack immediately and impatiently asked Leah, who just cut the call with Wine, and Leah got a little confused with Jack's behavior, but she shrugged it off and, "She is on the way to college," she said, making Jack relax and a smile more like a shrimp appear on his face. "But, and also Wine said that to take her book from you and she will take it from me," Leah said, making Jack's smile disappear, and, "No, no, I want to give the book to her." "Oh, okay, as you say, but I still don't understand why you wanted Wine's book. I mean, you are from different department from us," she said, making Jack gulp his lump. That I," he shuddered while roaming his eyes everywhere except on Leah, who was now looking at him with her curious eyes. Yeah, it's a novel book. I saw her buying that book which I wanted to buy, and it was the last book, so I asked her to share the book with me after she is done reading." Leah frowned more after hearing Jack, as Wine never buys some books because she never have time to read books as she is always busy with her husband, who always wants Wine's attention. "Baby, do you not believe me?" he said in his most innocent voice, making Leah to come to reality and, I do, she said while forcing a smile on her lips. And okay, baby, come, let's go and get a coffee. She said, to which Leah just nodded her head, and then Jack just walked ahead without even looking for Leah, making Leah to took a deep breath and she too followed Jack. Jungkook stopped the car in front of Wine's university and pulled Wine to his hand. Jungkook smiled, I love you, babe, he said, and peeked Wine's forehead. Wine smiled, I love you more, saying they should peek his lips and I should leave. Leah is waiting for me. Okay, take care. I will. And you too, take care. I will. Okay. And then Wine took her back from the back seat and got out of the car and walked inside the university, and Jungkook kept watching her till she completely disappeared into the university, and then he drove off to the company. Where is this Leah? She said while roaming her eyes everywhere, but didn't find Leah, so she was about to go to their classroom to see if Leah is there or not. But Wine heard Leah's voice from behind, and she turned around to see Leah and Jack together. Wine smiled. Leah, I was searching for you. We went to the coffee shop, she said after she stood in front of Wine, who just playfully shrimp at Leah's word. Oh, date in the morning itself. She teased Leah and Jack, to which Leah just doesn't feel anything. No, it was just a coffee while we wait for you, she said without any emotions and feelings. Oh, come, let's get our things from locker. Yeah, come. Saying this, Leah and Wine walked towards the locker, totally forgetting about Jack, who himself was lost at Wine. And she is so beautiful, he said after Leah and Wine walked away, and his eyes were fixed on Wine's back. And Jack shrimp, let's go and initiate our plan, he said to himself while taking Wine's notebook from his bag, which he purposefully borrowed from Wine so as to initiate a talk with Wine. Your smell. I am to your smell, girl, he said while sniffing Wine's notebook, which got her fragrance. And then Jack shrimp, soon you will have my fragrance too. He shrimp more, thinking about all the things he wanted to do with Wine. Let's go to my girl. Saying this, he walked towards the direction from where Leah and Wine left while spinning Wine's notebook in his hand. What happened, Leah? Why are you so lost? She asked Leah, who was just thinking about her relationship with Jack, as she was feeling something wrong is going to happen and this relationship isn't good. Nothing, Wine. I was just thinking about Jack and me. Oh, someone is already head over heels for her new boyfriend. Wine teased Leah, to which Leah just sighed and took a deep breath. It's not like that, Wine. I'm not She was about to say her thoughts to Wine, but Wine turned around to see Jack, and Leah frowned as her doubt started getting more as she noticed how Jack's eyes were sparkling while he called Wine's name. Yes, Jack, she just simply asked him without any emotion. And here your book, Wine, he said, and forwarded Wine's notebook to her. And at that time, Leah noticed that it isn't some novel, rather it's Wine's college notebook, making her more confused with Jack's behavior. Yeah, Wine took the book and thank you for your notebook, Wine. It's okay, hope my book helped you in doing your project, she said as Jack has told a lie that he has to do a project, that's why he need Wine's notebook, and Leah doesn't have that note. Yeah, it's very helpful, he said while internally shrimming while thinking how useful her book was because it made him to her fragrance. Vine just gave a small smile to Jack, and then she saw Leah, who was now simply staring at Jack, making Vine smile more, thinking like Leah is admiring Jack, so she doesn't feel like disturbing Leah, so she turned to get her things from locker. Vine was getting her things from locker without knowing that Jack was eyeing her, while standing next to her as his locker is right beside Vine. Jack was checking out Wine from head to toe, and each passing second his eyes were turning dark. And but then suddenly his eyes turned red in anger when he saw Wine got on her neck, which made him poke his cheek, and he tightly gripped the locker door so as to control himself, and his eyes were still fixed on Wine, which Jungkook gave her in the morning. Leah, enough admiring your boyfriend. Come, let's go. The class is about to start, she said while taking her things out and locking her locker. Yeah, let's go. And Jack, we are going to our class. See you in the break time, she said to Jack, making him look at Leah, but his mind was still at Wine's. Okay, he said, and thus Wine and Leah walked towards their class. She got a boyfriend, he said while gritting his teeth and harshly closing the locker in anger. No way I can give you to anyone else. You're mine, Wine, he said with his red eyes, but soon he shrimp. Jack shrimp, enough of pretending to be an innocent boy to get her now. I have to come back to my original self and make her mine, he said while pulling his shirt sleeve up to his elbow. The whole day passed and now it's the time to go home. And Leah and Wine have different classes. So Wine was walking alone on the corridor so has to go to the parking lot where Leah might be waiting for her to drop her home. Wine walked past the locker but she suddenly felt someone pull her inside a classroom and she was about to scream but someone again covered her palm from behind. Wine started struggling in that person's grip as he has tightly hold Wine by her from behind, and also her mouth was still roughly covered by a palm, making her voice get covered. Soon the whole corridor got silent, indicating all the students left, and thus Wine felt the person remove the hand from her mouth and "Who are you? Leave me," she said while trying to remove the person's hand from her. But calm down, girl. Wine stopped struggling when she heard the familiar voice in Jack. Wow, my girl can recognize my voice. Saying this, he leave Wine, and Wine immediately turned around to see a totally different Jack. Jack wasn't looking innocent, rather, he was looking like some bad boy, as his hair, which was neatly done in the morning, was now messy, and also his neatly ironed dress was looking messy, as the first three buttons of his shirt was undone, showing off his tattoo on his neck and chest, and also showing tattoos on his arm, as his shirt sleeve were rolled down to his elbow. In short, he was a whole new Jack. Wine was totally surprised to see a whole new Jack that she forget to speak, but she came to reality when Jack screamed, "Seems like my girl is enjoying my new version." "Jack, what's all this and why you pulled me in this empty classroom?" she said while looking around the room, but "Calm down, girl. You will soon know why I pulled you here," he said, but then his eyes turned dark when he again saw the on Wine's neck. So, who the Wine frowned as what he is saying, while Jack's eyes turned more red in anger, knowing that someone Wine other than him. So, tell me who the and where he, so that I can replace this with mine, he said while taking step towards Wine, who now got scared and her breath started getting heavy and she started walking backwards in fear as his eyes were getting dark. "Jack, stop right there. Don't come near me," she said while pointing her fingers towards Jack, still walking backwards. "But I can't stay away from you, girl." Saying this, he held Wine's shivering hand in his and pulled her towards him, making Wine's breath stop. "And I'm gonna remove his mark from your neck," he said, and his one hand circled around Wine's and started struggling in his hold, and his other hand went towards her neck. "Leave me," she tried to push Jack, but no use, he was too strong for her. "Ush, let me do my work, baby." Saying this, he gripped Wine's neck to hold her on her place, and his fingers started rubbing on her neck in an attempt to remove the. But you stop. She tried to push him, hold his wrist to remove his hand from her neck, and also she was moving her hips in order to remove his grip from her. But no use, Jack was totally into removing her. "Gave you such a dark. It's so hard to remove," he said, and unknowingly his hold on Wine's and neck loosened as he got frustrated because Jungkook's mark wasn't going. But Jack stopped it and thus finally pushed him and free herself from Jack and gave her tight to him. "Are you gone mad or what?" she shouted on Jack, only for him to shout back, "Yes, I am mad for you. You made me mad." "What the Jack?" Jack chuckled. "You know I had my eyes on you. That's why I played innocent in front of you to get you." "Mind what are you saying, Jack? You already have Leah and she loves you a lot." Jack chuckled. "Oh yeah, Leah. I know she loves me, but what to do? I don't love her. I was just using her to get close to you," he said, only to get a heart again from Wine, making Jack more angry. "Leah loves you truly, but you don't deserve her love. I will tell this to Leah." Saying this, she was about to pass by Jack to the door, but Jack was fast enough to pin Wine to the nearest wall, and Wine groaned painfully after her back hit the wall and "Ush, leave me." She tried to remove her hand from Jack's grip, but no use. "Yes, I don't deserve Leah's love because I deserve only your love," and he said while roaming his eyes on Wine's and "You got him." His grip on Wine's hand loose as he was Wine, and Wine again raised her hand to Jack, but "As much as you want, I will take it, but you have to be mine," he said, making Wine to take her hand back because she got it. "It's no use of the and I'm married, Jack," she said, thinking Jack will back off knowing she is married, but it only made Jack's eyes turn more dark in anger, knowing she is already someone's wife. "Oh wow, that means you were having your husband's, right?" He angrily brushed his finger through his hair, and again he faced Wine, who now had wide eyes and gulping her lumps. "That means he already you everywhere where I wanted to you, right?" he said, making Wine shiver more and No way, I can't even imagine it. I have to replace your husband's and by mine, he said, and now Wine understood he got some other intention, so she was about to run, but again got pinned by Jack to the wall, making her again struggle to free her hand from his grip. Jack, no, don't do it, Wine said while struggling to free her hand from Jack's grip, and soon Wine's all confidence melted away and she started shivering while seeing Jack licking his lip and now was clearly visible in his eyes apart from being anger. I'm so excited to you, but before that, I have to replace your husband's with mine, he said while his eyes fixed on Wine's, and without giving Wine to protest, he hid his face in Wine's neck and tried to her skin over them so as to replace it with his. But as Wine was struggling, he wasn't able to do anything. Don't move, girl, he said while still trying to her neck, but he wasn't able to. And then lastly, Wine somehow managed to raise her knees and forcefully kick his, making him lose his hold on Wine, and she got free. He, while holding his part, and he bent down in pain, and Wine took this chance to immediately open the door and went outside the classroom, and she locked the door from outside so that Jack can't run away and Wine run outside. Where is she? Leah said after the call disconnect for the fourth time as she was calling Wyan. The whole college left, and where this girl gone? I should go inside and check. Saying this, she was about to go inside, but she saw Wyan running while occasionally looking behind, making Leah frown and worried too. Wyan, Leah called as Wyan was about to run out the gate, totally forgetting about Leah, but Wyan stopped when she heard a familiar voice. Wine turned around and saw Leah and thus bursted out crying, making Leah more worried. So she ran to Wine and held Wine as she was about to fall on the ground, and then Leah softly cuffed Wine's cheeks and what happened, Wine? Why are you crying? And wait, she worriedly asked as her eyes caught coming from Wine's neck over the place where Jungkook gave her as Jack has rubbed it harshly so as to remove the resulting her skin break. I want Jungkook, she said in between her sob, and she was getting weak each passing second, making Leah to nod her head and yeah, come, let's go to Oppa, she said and hold Wine's wrist and carefully walked to the car. Wine just ran out of the car as soon as Leah stopped the car in the parking lot of Jungkook's company, and Leah just let Wine run away because she understood something happened to Wine, and right now all she need is her husband. And Leah slowly get out of the car and walk into the company, taking her time because she wanted to give Jungkook and Wine privacy. Wine was about to open the door of Jungkook's cabin, but she turned around when an employee called him, and Mrs. John, sir is in the meeting room. Come, I will take. He wasn't able to complete as Wine ran to the meeting room. Wine opened the door of the meeting room, gaining everyone's attention, and her eyes directly fall on Jungkook, who immediately stood up from his seat after seeing his wife. But her eyes again got teary as soon as she saw Jungkook, and she ran to Jungkook and threw herself on him and bursted out crying loudly, making Jungkook worry. Baby, what happened? He asked Wine while cherishing her back, only for Wine to cry more, making Jungkook's heart ache and his eyes turned red just thinking who the man got the guts to make his queen cry. Jungkook stared at everyone in the meeting room with his dark eyes indicating everyone to leave, and they immediately left the meeting room and closed the door to give Jungkook and Wine privacy. Baby, he softly called Wine. She said, still crying and tightly hugging Jungkook more, and now not being able to hear Wine sob more. Jungkook picked up Wine in his arm and sat on his chair with Wine in his and he broke the hug and cupped her cheek softly. Jungkook looked carefully at Wine, her hair messy, eyes red and swollen, indicating she has been cried badly, her red nose, her lips trembling, and lastly his eyes fall on the dried stain on Wine's neck, making him get an idea what might have happened, which made his eyes turn dark. But then his eyes again fall on Wine's face, making him control his anger and stop crying, baby, he softly said to Wine, who stopped crying but still her eyes were teary. Can you please tell me who did it to you? He softly asked Wine while wiping Wine's cheek. He, Jack, me. She wasn't able to form words, and by remembering the incident that just happened few minutes ago made Wine again burst out crying, but it was enough to make Jungkook understand everything. Hey, don't cry, baby. See, no one gonna you when I am here, baby, he said and hugged Wine, making Wine to hide her face in his neck, and he cherished her back so as to console her. Relax, baby, your cook is here with you, he said and kept Wine's top of her and still cherishing her back, making Wine to feel safe in his arm. And thus she relaxed and slowly stopped crying and snuggled more into Jungkook's warmth, feeling more safe and protected. Jungkook slowly stopped cherishing Wine's back when he heard light snore from Wine, and he slowly looked down at his chest to see Wine cutely sleeping with a pot, and her hands had tightly gripped Jungkook's shirt. I love you so much, my love, he said on Wine's forehead, but then his eyes again fall on Wine's neck, making his eyes turn red in anger. But let's get you home, love, he whispered to Wine's sleeping figure and slowly got her from his chair with Wine in his arm and walked outside the meeting room. Jungkook got out the room just to see Leah standing in front of the meeting room with concerned and worried face. Come here, princess, he said in his soft voice, making Leah to lightly nod her head and walk towards Jungkook. What happened to my wife? He said in a bold voice, making Leah at first gulp her lump. And I don't know, Oppa. I was waiting for Wine outside the college as we had different last class, and I called her 4 times but she didn't pick up the call. I think her phone was on silent, and then I was about to go inside to check on her but saw her running outside the college, and I stopped her and she bursted out crying, and then she asked me to take her to you, so without asking anything else I take her to you as fast as I can. As she was crying and shivering, Leah explained everything to Jungkook, making him sigh. So you didn't ask what happened to her? No, I asked, but she didn't say anything as she was just taking your name, so I didn't pressure her because she was already a mess. Leah again explained herself. But who is Jack, princess? Jungkook asked, making Leah's whole body numb and her eyes wide open in shock. I asked you something, Leah. This time Jungkook's tone got a little bit bold, and also he called her name, indicating Jungkook is serious. So my boyfriend. She shuddered and looked down at her feet, not being able to look at Jungkook's eyes. But Mark, he called his secretary's name, who immediately came and stood beside Leah. And yes, sir. I need the CCTV footage of our college and get that Jack in my basement, he said in a scary tone, to which Mark nodded his head and said, Yes, sir. But Leah immediately looked up at Jungkook with her doe eyes when she heard Jungkook asking Mark to get Jack, which Jungkook noticed. Don't look at me with your doe eyes, princess. My queen has said his name, that means he has to suffer, he said in a strict voice, making Leah now understand that Jack has something to do with Wine's recent condition. And Leah's eyes fall on Wine, who was sleeping in Jungkook's arm, but Wine's swollen face made Leah's heart ache. So, if Jack has something to do with my best friend's recent condition, then make him suffer, Oppa. I love Wine more than him, she confidently said while looking directly at Jungkook's eyes, making Jungkook sign and Mark, get Leah safely at home. And don't forget the thing I ask you. Yes, sir. And Jungkook does walk outside the company to his car and drive off with Wine in his as she had hold his shirt tightly, and also he doesn't want it to break her slip. Jungkook made Wine lay on bed and he was about to go to closet to get a comfortable dress for Wine, but he noticed that Wine has still tightly gripped his shirt, so he slowly removed her grip from his shirt and then walked to the closet and came back with a t-shirt of his and slowly removed Wine's heels and then her dress too, and then made her wear his t-shirt. Jungkook then took the first aid box from the nightstand drawer and took a cotton pad and put some medicine and slowly cleaned Wine's right from her, to which Wine moved a little, making Jungkook to stop his action, and he softly Wine's forehead before again continuing treating her wound. Jungkook, sleep well, my baby boo. I will be back quickly, he whispered to Wine and her forehead and cover her with blanket and slowly walk out of the room to catch that Jack. Jungkook came downstairs to see Leah sitting on the couch. And Leah, what are you doing here? I asked Mark to drop you at Umma Appa's house, he said while approaching Leah, and Leah stood up from the couch and stood in front of him. I know, I asked Mark to drop me here. I wanted to be with Wine, she said, making Jungkook nod his head, and he was about to say something, but his phone vibrated and he took his phone from his pocket and on the phone to see Mark has sent the CCTV footage from the college. Jungkook's eyes got red in anger after he watched everything that happened inside the old classroom, as luckily there was a camera in the classroom too and it was working too, which Jack thought it might not be working, but his bad luck. And also he clearly saw how Jack was trying to break the locked door, and at that time Mark and his man got Jack with them. That man has to, he angrily said with his red eyes after seeing what he has done to Wine. And what happened, Joppa? Just see what was your so-called boyfriend's intention. Saying this, he gave his phone to Leah, who took the phone, and what she saw made her eyes turn red in anger too. And now she understood why Jack never cared for her, why he always kept on asking about wine, why he always kept staring at wine, which she always used to ignore because she loved Jack a lot, but not anymore. Did he ever misbehave with you? Jungkook asked, making Leah come to reality. And no, never. By God grace, I never let him me. But wine? She whispered the last sentence painfully, thinking of wine, making Jungkook's eyes turn more red in anger. Don't worry, he is gonna suffer. I will show no mercy, he said with his dark eyes and twisting his palm in anger. You shouldn't, Oppa. In the worst way for our wine. I know, Leah. I have to go. Just be with wine till I come back, okay? Okay, Oppa, and thus Jungkook walked out of the house to that Jack in the worst way possible. No, don't me, she shouted and immediately sat straight on bed while taking long breath, and her body was shivering as she dreamed of the incident with Jack. But baby, Jungkook too immediately sat straight as he also laying next to Wine, hugging her tightly after he came from that Jack. It's okay, see, I am here. No one can do anything to you, he said and hugged Wine, who now got relaxed in his embrace. But she started crying, making Jungkook to pull back from hug and face Wine and cup her cheeks softly. Why is my love crying now? He softly asked while wiping her tears. Why and sobbing, cookie me. He tried to remove your mark from me, and also I'm feeling his everywhere on my, and I'm also like him, she said while trying to roughly rub her hands and neck so as to remove that and smell. Calm down, love. He held Wine's hand so as to stop her from hurting herself and let me take care of you. Saying this, he smashed his lips on her, to which Wine immediately replied back. Jungkook made Wine's both hands wrap around his neck, and his hand went to her hip, and he picked her up and placed her on his and deepened the while every of Wine, making Wine only feel Jungkook's hand on every part of her, giving her. Jungkook stood up from bed with Wine hugging him tightly by his neck, and her legs automatically wrapped around his, and Jungkook walked towards the bathroom while still continuing each other. Jungkook stood under the shower and Wine pulled back from the and took long breath. Meanwhile, Jungkook slowly made Wine stand on her feet, and then he hold dress leaving her, and he too got while still both of their eyes fixed on each other. Jungkook again pulled Wine closer to him and smashed his lips on her while Jungkook on the shower, making the water run down there, making them. Jungkook pulled back from the and took his body wash gel and washed Wine's body using his hand, and thus removing that every trace from Wine's. Jungkook off the shower and took a towel and wrapped it around Wine's hair, and then he took his shirt which he removed earlier and made Wine wear his shirt. Now you smell just like me. Saying this, he Wine's forehead, and thus finally a small smile appeared on Wine's lips, making Jungkook smile too. Oh my heart, that smile of yours, baby, he said while placing his palm over his chest, making Wine smile more like blush. Wine blushed Cook. She tried to hide a blushing face in Jungkook's chest, but Jungkook was quick to cup Wine's cheek, and Jungkook smiled. Always smile like this, okay? He said, to which Wine nodded her head as yes, and then Jungkook her forehead before picking her up in her arms and walking out of the bathroom. Jungkook made Wine sit on the bed, and he took off the towel from Wine's head, and then without saying anything, he leaned towards Wine's neck and softly the place where Wine tried to remove Jungkook's mark, making Wine hiss in pain as he made knew about the same one. Kokshi, while closing her eyes, and she gripped Jungkook's head tightly, making Jungkook smile in between her, knowing Wine was enjoying his, which made her forget everything. Jungkook pulled back from Wine's neck and have a look at her just to shrimp, saying her whole neck and collarbone was now covered with his, and Wine blushed, seeing Jungkook's intense lovely stare at her. Kokshi called him, bringing him back to reality, and I'm gonna mark your every part, baby, he said while cherishing Wine's cheek. Wine smiled. Do it. I only want your mark on my. She too said, making Jungkook shrimp, and thus he opens Wine's shirt and started giving her at each and every part of her. After marking Wine's each and every part, making Wine know that she belongs to Jungkook, and also Jungkook made sure that Wine only think about Jungkook and is lovely on her. Both of them were now cuddling so as to feel each other more. I love you, baby, he said, and Wine's forehead, who was now laying on his chest while tightly hugging him. I love you more, she said, making Jungkook smile, but let's sleep now, he said, and peeked Wine's top of head and closed his eyes to sleep. But Cook Leah, was she heartbroken knowing about Jack? She asked him because she knew that Jungkook will definitely find out who made her cry and will him, and thus Leah will also get to know about Jack. Meanwhile, Jungkook opened his eyes just to see Wine was already looking at him while placing her chin on his chest. No, she wasn't. She was only hurt by thinking about you, and she kept waiting for you to wake up. But as it was getting late and also she was tired too, so I dropped her to house and she said she will come tomorrow to meet you in the morning. That's good. I also want to comfort her. Baby, she is my sister, the mafia princess. She is a strong girl. I know she is a strong girl, but Jack was her first love, so it might be hurtful for her. Yes, it might be, but my sister doesn't deserve that, which she is well aware of, and also she deserves a man who will treat her like a queen. Yeah, she deserves to be treated like a queen, and hope she soon get a man who will treat her like a queen. Yeah, but for now, let's sleep. I'm very tired. Saying the Z, Wine's forehead, and she just and then both again hug each other tightly and close their eyes to sleep. Baby, wake up if you don't want to be late, he said while cherishing Wine's cheek and admiring Wine, who was sleeping peacefully in his embrace. Cook, please, I don't want to go to college today, she said with her eyes closed and snuggling more into Jungkook's warmth. Okay, then don't go. I will also take leave today, he said, making Wine surprised. And really, she asked him while looking up at him, and Jungkook smiled. Yep, gonna spend time with you. Wine smiled. You are the best cook. Because you make me the best person. Oh, I love you more, he said, and pulled Wine on top of him and smashed his lips on her. And thus they had their lovely morning. And then after some time, Leah came and spent a little time with Wine, and then she left, giving Jungkook and Wine time for themselves, who spent their remaining day by cuddling, talking, watching movies, cooking and eating together, and lastly by making throughout the night. The end. Thanks for watching. Bye.